Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tech Lockdown Webcast, where we will be discussing technology that will help us all during the lockdown period and beyond. My name is Zul, and I'll be your moderator for today. Today, in this episode of our webcast, our guest is Leonard Chong, the VP of Business Development of Airome Technologies, who will be explaining how digital banking is revolutionizing the entire banking and finance industry during and post COVID-19. With that being said, I'll now pass over to Aaron to start with today's discussion. Over to you, Aaron.
Thank you, Zul. Hi, Leonard. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks very much, Aaron.
All right. Before we go into today's discussion, I was hoping maybe you can share us a bit about Airome Technologies and how you guys are coping with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay. Anyway, before I do that, very good afternoon to everyone, and many thanks for making the time to be with us today. I hope everyone, including your families, are safe and well. And I would also like to thank AOPG for organizing this webcast. So we are coping very well at Airome. In fact, we see quite a number of. In fact, there's an increase in the interest levels in terms of what we're doing because of what's happening with COVID. So hopefully I would be able to share with you some of this interest that we see happening in the market now and how Airome can really help banks in this post-COVID or in this current pandemic crisis. Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Leonard. Okay, so going to today's discussion, I'll just go straight into my first question, which is the concerns banks are having when it comes to having a digital presence. I mean, since the whole pandemic started, a lot more people are now looking into online and digital banking services. But of course, there are always concerns as well when it comes to this. So my question to you is, what are the biggest concerns for banks when it comes to digital banking?
Okay, so as we know, continuous change typically accompanies the evolution of our economies and societies, and these changes are normally slow and gradual. Okay, so however, occasionally rapid disruptive changes take place in a short span of time, leading to what we commonly term as revolutions. Unfortunately, with COVID-19, we are now living in one of these disruptive stages. COVID-19 has changed the way we live and work overnight. It has certainly accelerated the growth of digitalization. We stay at home, work from home. We are turning to virtual meetings and classrooms, online commerce and online banking. Digital services are definitely growing in importance now. Aside from affecting our daily lives, this pandemic has also affected the way we bank. So the whole concept of social distancing is the new normal now. And COVID-19 has turned into a health check for the banking scene. In this era of the new normal, okay, banks would now need to do some soul searching and ask hard questions like, am I really able to serve the needs of my customer? Are my services satisfactory? Is my customer really able to communicate with me? Am I listening to them? And more importantly, should I reach out to a bigger market by focusing on a segment I have previously neglected? So it is widely recognized that economic development in advanced industrial societies like ours involves massive capital migration from one industrial sector to another, from one community to another, and even from one nation to another. Okay, our social habits will change, jobs will be lost and be replaced by new ones. All this really is part of economic evolution when we progress. Okay?
That's true.
So after all, social changes like that caused by COVID-19 are integral elements and affect the process of economic development. Economic development is a continual process of opening new areas, spatially and sectorially, whilst closing others. So really the focus has now shifted on to digital banking in this new normal. As I have mentioned earlier, our lives and the way we bank have been affected by this pandemic. Traditional access to cash payment services, especially for the unbanked, and possibly the underbanked have been affected. At this most difficult time when cash is really needed, it is more difficult for the unbanked to receive financial grants from the government
Very true.
through,
Yeah. Mhm.
through G2P financial schemes. In Indonesia, for example, only 15% of underprivileged people in villages and 25% of those in cities whose livelihoods were affected by the pandemic had received social aid. And this social aid that's really meant to help them pay for essential services and tie over these difficult times. So based on what we have experienced and seen so far, some of us really are not up to the mark yet, despite all the discussions and planning over the years about building a digital banking ecosystem. Basic banking services, unfortunately, do not meet the needs of consumers when they really have fewer options due to the restriction of movement. We can actually see where we are failing now in our service offerings in the digital banking world, from authenticating and authorizing identities for the opening of new accounts, the cashing of checks, application for loans. The current system is not able to effectively support the whole idea of banking without any branches. With social distancing, consumers may now decide to only bank with financial institutions whose services they can use without leaving home. But having said that, we are definitely getting better and embracing this new wave of digitalization, albeit in a do or die situation to ensure that we have the necessary resilience to meet future challenges.